In Chapter 3 of your guidebook, there are some tips for choosing the right shoes, socks, and clothing for walking. Please review this and review it very carefully. Now I am going to share the FITT, F-I-T-T. FITT stands for frequency, intensity, time, and type. Frequency, how often you walk or do any physical activity. The Arthritis Foundation guideline is to strive for 30 minutes of walking or moderate exercise 5 days a week. Intensity, how much you are exerting yourself, how hard you are working. New guidelines for physical activity recommended is low to a moderate intensity. Time refers to how many minutes you spend walking or doing any physical activity. The guideline is again for 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise 5 times a week. So 150 minutes or 2.5 hours a week. Remember, this time can be broken up into smaller sections. Whatever fits for your schedule, whatever fits best for you. Type. Different types of physical activity that work different muscle groups contributes to a well-rounded exercise program. You know your body. Remember to do what you can. Remember the 5-step walking program. This is very important as well. So warm up first, stretch, walk, cool down, stretch, and finally, always have fun.
On page 58, there is a sample walking plan. I hope you all can see this. The walking plan on page 59, 58 and 59, there's a sample diary on page 59. Blank pages are on page 140 to 141 with your Walking with Ease manual. So it says that research has shown that people who make plans of action, write them down, and then review them each week experience greater success in meeting their goals than other people who don't. Excuse me. An effective walking plan has many parts: a contract for your walking goals, some form of record keeping like a diary to keep track of your walking, some self-measurement tools to check your progress. Most importantly, a clear plan for rewarding yourself as you stick to the program and reach your goals. These are the recommended steps to follow when making a walking plan. Decide how long you will commit to walking. Use the 6 weeks of this walking program as a reasonable time commitment. Lay out your goals and the specific steps it will take to meet them. These must be realistic and achievable. For example, many people can start off walking for 30 minutes, but most people can begin walking only a few minutes. So it's important to keep track of your own self-health, how you feel, what your muscles feel, how are you breathing. All of these things contribute to having a really good, successful plan. If you believe if you've been limited in your activity because of pain or disability, your first goal may be to walk 5 minutes at a time in your own home or around the block each day. Remember, everyone, that this is important, that you have to do this to the way you feel, not to the way someone else wants you to feel. If you have become inactive by habit or discomfort, you may be able to start out walking slowly for 10 minutes at a time, 3 times a week. If you're already active, you may be able to go for longer walks, perhaps 20 minutes or more at a time for 5 days a week. Here's how you get started. Assess yourself honestly. or assess yourself honestly. Start with where you are. You may be able to start walking 10 to 15 minutes at a time, 3 days a week, or you may be able to walk 5 minutes around your house. Either goal is fine if it's appropriate for you. Here we go back to you. You need to make sure that you keep track of your own health and how you feel. Be realistic about what you can and cannot do. Start there and then gradually work your way up. State when you will walk. It's usually best to contract to do something 3 days a week. If you do more, that's a bonus. Everyone has days they don't feel like doing anything, so if you miss, you can still meet your contract. The point is to encourage, not discourage. Select a reward. Determine what it is that you would like to give yourself for completing your contract. It should be something meaningful to help you celebrate a job well done. Write this down. Refer to your contract daily. This keeps you accountable. Using the contract can be a great tool to help you stay focused and on track. Set up and use your daily walking diary. Research has shown that writing something down helps you make and maintain changes in your overall level of physical activity. It can be simple. This helps you keep track of how much you walk so you can keep an eye out on your progress. This is where you can keep records, your notes about how you feel about walking, what you like and your level of comfort, or anything that made exercise on that day particularly difficult. Taking self-measurements. Some people don't like to take the time to measure their starting point and keep track of their progress. However, many people who use the self-tests find them to be a great motivator to stick with a program because they can see how the program is helping them. Self-tests are easy. You can measure the amount of time that you are able to walk or the distance that you were able to walk. You can also take physical measurements such as your heart rate. Chapter 5 of the guidebook gives you more information about self-measurements. Always refer back to the guidebook. The guidebook has really good information in it. It also has samples of your diary, samples of your walking contract. These are things that you should pay attention to so in the future you can see how you're benefiting from the Walking with Ease class. Your walking plan needs weekly attention. At the end of the week, evaluate your walking program to see how well your program is working. Are you feeling less fatigued? Are you enjoying yourself? If you're having difficulty accomplishing your plan, this is a good time to use consultants like friends, family members, healthcare providers, or other exercise leaders to help you accomplish your goals. You may need to reevaluate and modify your program. That's important. However you feel, is this working for you? Can you actually extend more time, more walking? This is all the things of why it's good to write these things down to see what your progress is so you can keep track of yourself. You may need to change the time and place that you exercise. It's okay to change your time and place as long as you try to keep up with the same amount of time, the same distance, as much as you possibly can handle without hurting yourself. So your exercise partners may change, the routes you take may change, which is kind of fun because I walk every day. I try to change up where I walk at or which direction I go because that way you're not getting stale and looking at the same stuff over and over again. There's also your pain management strategies and other things that make your program more enjoyable and successful. Remember to reward yourself. Your reward might be a new pair of shoes, a celebration, or an evening out. Don't eat too much. You can also give yourself a small treat halfway through or other intervals in the program. This will help keep you motivated.